Relieve, Respond, Revive. WSFL-TV presents The Rebound, South Florida.
They didn't ask a lot of questions about who he was around.
New details about how some Florida school districts are tracking cases of coronavirus in students and staff, why parents feel it's not enough. We're just weeks away from the general election, and one local high school student's making sure her peers know how important it is to vote.
Her idea came up one day when we were just working on it. She noticed my progress when my English started becoming a little bit better.
In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're highlighting members of the Hispanic community here in South Florida who are doing some amazing things. How one woman's story is impacting the lives of dozens of local children. The Rebound South Florida starts right now.
I'm Forrest Saunders at the Capitol. We're 41 days away from the election, and most Florida counties still don't have their federal CARES Act dollars to protect poll workers and voters from COVID-19. Now, the federal government doled out about $20 million, the state stepping up with about $4 million of its own, but a lot of those funds have been caught up in a bureaucratic process. To prepare for a pivotal election, Florida has millions of federal dollars ready and waiting to help counties fight COVID at the poll. Money for PPE, barriers, sanitizers, and more. But many can't get to it.
Well, we applied for our funding on July 1st.
Election Supervisor Lori Edwards says Polk County is slated for around $600,000. In this email, state officials said to expect it by mid-August. That didn't happen.
And of course, here we are late September and still no money. We haven't received any questions about our request or indication that there is any reason to hold up the funds.
Without clarity, Polk, like other counties, decided to pay out of pocket for virus protection. CARES money now acting as reimbursement whenever it arrives.
We couldn't sit around and wait for the state government to catch up with itself.
The governor sounded unaware of any holdups when I asked him about the funds this week.
It's being distributed. I have to talk to Secretary Lee as they ask for the money. It's distributed.
But as of Monday, state officials explained to us 43 counties had applied for funds. Only 28 have been paid, distributing less than half of the money available. All right, so what's the issue? Well, according to the state, there's a tedious review process that's required by statute, and it all starts with counties actually applying for the funds. From there, the State Department takes over. The staff goes through applications, reviewing what funds are for, and if the paperwork is correct. Once approved, requests are resubmitted to Financial Services, where another review and approval process is needed. If no issues are found, the funds finally released. Despite that process, in a statement, a spokesman tells us, quote, supervisors have already conducted early voting in 2 elections this year. I'm confident we will successfully conduct the general election. Edwards is too. She just wishes the state would deliver what's owed.
I certainly understand we're all very busy right now, but if on August 10th you tell me the check's in the mail, I'm a little disappointed when I find out in late September that the check wasn't in the mail.
At the Capitol, Forrest Saunders, WSFL-TV.
As the country continues to rebound from the pandemic, many are wondering how COVID-19 will affect Election Day. We're partnering with the League of Women Voters in both Broward and Miami-Dade counties to make sure you have the information you need to cast your ballot. One local high school student is empowering and informing her fellow classmates on the importance of voting.
Our voice is probably the most powerful, especially for this election and for the future, because I think slowly politicians are starting to realize it and are kind of listening to us.
Lauren Gregorio attends class, then works at an organization called New Voters. Even though Lauren and her friends are too young to register to vote, she constantly talks about pre-registering. For her, it's exhilarating and important to inform Gen Zs on voting.
I think it's just so important to spread this message. And I know there's really big organizations that are amplifying this too. So I'm glad that I get to be a part of this. And it kind of made me find my passion in helping a lot of lower SES communities, give them access to everything.
It is so vital to turn out these younger high school and college voters and get them excited and engaged and knowledgeable about the civic process.
The 16-year-old reached out to Monica Sukoko Rodriguez, the president of the League of Women Voters in Miami-Dade County, to speak to young voters on why their vote matters during a summit this weekend. Monica says she feels Gen Zs are more involved this year because of social media.
We're already seeing changes. When you look at the League of Women Voters board and our volunteers, we have so much more diversity than we had let's say 10 or even 5 years ago. And I think it's because people are realizing what's at stake and their power as voters. So they want to get involved.
You might think you're annoying by reposting on social media, but you're not. You really are helping and advocating for what you believe in. And I think people undermine their power, their voice. So I think if we continue to use it, we'd actually make a difference.
If you want to vote in the November 3rd election, you have to register by October 5th. If you have questions about the process, we want to make sure you have the answers. We have all the information you need on our website, WSFLTV.com. Just click Vote 2020.
We saw a need for especially our low-income Hispanic community to see, what was available and to get guidance.
Next on the Rebound South Florida, they're known as the godmothers of insurance, and they're hiring. If you're looking for a job, they might be the perfect fit. Plus, Florida schools not counting every coronavirus case. Our team exposes which cases are not being included in the school district data.
Tonight, we're learning more about how some Florida school districts are tracking cases of the coronavirus and why some positive cases are not being included in district totals. When Amanda Bryce's son tested positive for the coronavirus a few days after being quarantined because of a case at his Polk County High School, Mom was told
The school considered him an at-home case.
an at-home case, which we've discovered means her son's illness may not be counted as a school case.
They didn't ask a lot of questions about who he was around.
Her son's school district, one of several Florida districts we contacted, who told us unless her son's case can be traced back to the school, students or staff who test positive while quarantined from campus are not included in the district's total.
Is that a problem?
Yes. The reason that you test a quarantined patient or individual is because you think they were exposed in school.
UF professor Dr. Frederick Southwick is an advocate for more testing at school. He acknowledges exceptions to including these cases, including if a student or staff attends an event while in quarantine, but says by and large,
if you aren't using those numbers, then you're not going to protect the students from getting the infection.
In hard-hit Miami-Dade County, in-person classes have yet to begin. But when they do, those who test positive while out on quarantine will not be added to the district's positive case count. Same in Leon County, where 3 weeks into the school year, total school cases stand at 43. We are only counting cases in our data when it is on our campuses, and there may have the potential to expose other students or staff, a spokesperson explained. Bryce's son is over his bout with the illness and back at school, where Mom believes he got it. The question remains, will his school count it?
I'm sure there's probably an undercount in the schools.
The State Department of Health tells us all confirmed cases are included in the state's totals. Katie LeGrone, WSFL TV.
During these past few months, many across South Florida are finding it difficult to put meals on their tables, especially seniors. Meals on Wheels helps seniors not only access the meals, but they provide meals that are nutritious and medically tailored.
It's been tremendous since February. It's been almost 300% increase in need. My day-to-day operations includes nutrition therapy with the client. I will receive that client's name from our social work department, and then I will contact the client to make an appointment to visit with him and her, and then I will go to the client's home and provide nutrition therapy.
They care about people, and they go out of the way to help, and there's a lot of people that eat Meals on Wheels that really need their diet.
Alex says he checks up on the client at least once a month, depending on their health conditions. If you're interested in the program or if you'd like to contribute to Meals on Wheels South Florida, there's a link at the top of our website, WSFLTV.com.
Here's what's next on the Rebound South Florida. It's a question many are asking. When can we get back to the way things were?
Pretty much everything has been disrupted.
Why returning to normal means so much to us right now. Getting through this with stories to help get back on track as we rebound in South Florida.
With hopes of a vaccine months or even years away, so many of us are longing to return to the way things were, leaving Americans to wonder if our country and society might be permanently changed by the virus.
6 letters, 1 word. The one thing we are all collectively longing for.
Someone asked, when can we actually get back to normal as we know it?
Since March, the nation has been fixated on the notion of normal. When can we go back to the way things were? When can we go for a walk without a mask? But why does the idea of returning to normal speak to us on such a profoundly deep level?
Normal is this mirage on the horizon.
That's Mike Serrazio. He's a communication professor at Boston College. Just the word itself, he says, brings people a sense of certainty.
Part of what we seek in normalcy is something that's comfortable, something that's familiar, and something that is sustainable.
COVID-19 impacting nearly every facet of our lives, from work to school to even how our kids play with one another. It's created this longing for the way things were, especially given how stressful life can seem right now.
I think that we're all still somewhat in a daze in terms of how this has played out. And I think the hopes that this would be more temporary than it is are definitely not panning out.
Pretty much everything has been disrupted.
Beyond the word itself, there's another reason the concept of normality sticks in our brain. Nicholas Wagner studies psychological sciences.
The structures and routines that we've established help us navigate the uncertainties that we don't have control over.
This loss in normalcy has deeply impacted kids. For them, pattern and routine are central to development and growth.
For children, routine and patterns and predictability in the environment is crucial for a number of areas of development.
Some advice he has for parents right now: set specific bedtimes, specific times for chores, then make a calendar and hang it on the fridge.
That added sense of security may help to establish new normals.
Even when things do return to a condition of familiarity, we'll still have lingering aspects of the virus in our minds and in our hearts.
In a world where we are so desperately clinging to one word, finding a new normal might be the best way forward. I'm Chris Conti reporting.
As part of our commitment to helping South Florida rebound, we want to help you get back to work. We know many of you have lost your jobs because of the coronavirus pandemic, so each week we highlight a company that's hiring. Las Madrinas Medical Centers is looking to hire over a dozen employees.
Oh my God, you're like Las Madrinas, the godmothers of insurance.
Meet Mercy and Carmen, the godmothers of health insurance in Miami. The two met in 2010 at a life insurance company, then started their own venture, Las Madrinas Insurance Company, in 2013 when Obamacare became available.
We saw a need for especially our low-income Hispanic community to see, what was available and to get guidance and get help, because we knew there was going to be a government website available and we knew they were going to need one-on-one help. So we developed the first ever retail enrollment centers at the Mall of the Americas.
The first year working together, they helped over 60,000 families get health insurance. Since then, business has taken off.
Now we also do life insurance, Medicare. We help business owners with business solutions for their employees. And, there's so much to it now that our business has now led us to the medical centers part.
With the layoffs during the pandemic, Carmen and Odalis say the need for health insurance and medical attention has increased, meaning they need more employees to join their team.
This will be the highest enrollment year ever that we're expecting. So we are still needing some personnel as far as contracting and different departments, but mainly we need health insurance agents to work in our call center to help with the influx of amount of new enrollees.
Growing and learning every day. Every day you learn something.
Osvaldo Alvarez works at the medical center and says he's learned so much in the year he's worked there. With many concerned about seeing patients and staying safe, Osvaldo says Las Madrinas take care of both their customers and their employees.
The company has been providing me with all the necessary equipment, like face shields, masks, and hand sanitizers, and gloves, and gowns, and all the necessary equipment needed for me to protect myself from being infected.
Carmen and Odalis say they've hired over 20 people and they're looking to hire more. For more information, call 305-602-0436. You can find all of this information on our website, WSFLTV.com. Just click the Rebound. Melissa Marrero, WSFL TV.
No one was filling that gap in order to help children with
literature as well as their health.
In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're honoring members of the Hispanic community here in South Florida who are doing some amazing things. How one woman's story is impacting the lives of dozens of local children. Next on the Rebound, South Florida.
WSFL-TV is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month by highlighting the contributions Latinos are making in South Florida. Tonight we're featuring Catherine Leva, a former teacher who's made such an impact in the lives of so many children.
Catherine was born and raised in Miami.
I'm a Miami mutt, you know. I grew up all over this city. There's not a neighborhood that I completely, wholeheartedly represent.
Catherine's parents, both from Nicaragua, died when she was young.
My father died when I was 9 years old. He had hepatitis C. His liver started to malfunction due to him being an alcoholic when he was very young. My mother died when I was 14 due to having a heart attack in her sleep because of her diabetes level were through the roof.
The death of her parents, both caused by health conditions, inspired her to change her lifestyle. That led to workouts after school with students.
Esau kids would like hold on to the fence and throw me kisses, you know, or like say, Miss Leiva, que linda te ves, oh, mi gordita. Like, you know, that's how we show love and appreciation. And I remember one day just being so frustrated and yelling out to the kids, if you think this is cute, you come and do it with me. And many of them were taken aback.
That's when Fit Lit Camp started. Founded in 2016, the organization provides educational programs that are focused on fitness and literacy for kids in underserved areas.
No one was filling that gap in order to help children with literature as well as their health.
Her idea came up one day when we were just working on it. She noticed my progress when my English started becoming a little bit better.
The camp started off as a workout class. Then, when Catherine noticed communicating in English helped students like Elvis Mello, she started to bring articles and books for them to read.
I was forced to go out of my way and talk English every single day, 5 days a week with her. And then that made me get better. I learned more vocabulary with her. I learned more things. And then most of the time she would bring like little articles or little things. You're like, hey, read this. I think you might be interested in it. So then we would have like 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read something. And then she's like, okay, now we got to do 2-3 laps. Come on.
Elvis was born in the Dominican Republic and moved to the United States when he was 12. He was enrolled in ESOL, a program provided by Miami-Dade Public Schools designed to improve language proficiency in English. What helped him get out of the program? Attending Fit Lit Camp.
To be honest, if it wasn't because of that, I don't know where I could be right now, because actually that helps a lot. And I believe this actually is a really good help for students, for kids that they come from another country and then they find themselves in a really different environment to what they actually used to.
A kid who was working at a gas station and making money, you know, from the Dominican Republic, and there were no other outlets to what he has become today. I mean, phenomenal to see what can truly happen to our community if we really, really invest in it.
Catherine says the program has helped over 100 students accomplish so many of their goals. You can find more information about the club or how to donate on our homepage. One of the things we love about South Florida is that hometown pride. People are proud to live here and specifically proud to live in their communities. Every week, we want to hear what you love about the community you live in. Tonight, we leave you with Mia Lopez in Kendall.
Kendall is super diverse. I'm Cuban Haitian, and everything that I need is right here. We have the diversity of like Colombians, Venezuelans, Argentinians, like all of South America. We have an influx of Haitians here as well. I love it here. I really, really do. I wouldn't have raised my kids anywhere else. The schools here are great, and it's just a really good place to raise a family and to kind of produce really great citizens.